Namaste viewers. We have got quite a few videos up on our YouTube channel by now, quite a few views. Our subscriber base is increasing week by week, which we are very much encouraged with your response. We would expect more and more queries also to come so that it will shape our future videos as well. But today we wanted to understand and give some insight about irritable bowel syndrome. This is a condition which is suffered by many people but understood very less or less aware about it as well. Many a times IBS or irritable bowel syndrome is not even diagnosed at the right time. We ignore most of its symptoms. The presenting symptoms, usually it will be bloated feeling in the abdomen, constipation alternating with diarrhea or loose stools, fatigue, a lack of absorption, indigestion, and also sometimes it is very commonly associated with anxiety, sometimes palpitation, and long-standing IBS can also lead to loss of weight and lot of mental symptoms as well. Some of the patients can go into depression as well because of this, and they get into a vicious cycle of what do I need to eat to manage this. Oh, if I eat this, will I end up with this problem? So they get into a fear psychosis that I don't want to eat this, what will my body react with, or sometimes I'm in an embarrassing situation in a meeting or a family function that immediately after a meal I need to go and empty my bowels. All these kind of embarrassing complications comes into picture. But in terms of science, there is no specific reason or a cause which can be attributed to why this IBS happens. This is more of a functional disorder than a structural disorder. If you find any investigations to be done through ultrasound or endoscopy or colonoscopy or even biopsy or whatever kind of modern methods of MRI and scans are available, we may not find anything with IBS. So it's a wide array of symptoms which presents with, and there is no specific cause and there is no specific investigation to diagnose you with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome. That makes it even more difficult for us to understand and treat as well. One of the causes which is understood today to a certain extent is our emotions and stresses are main reasons for IBS. I would go one step ahead and say that it is also our lifestyle. When I mean lifestyle, it is the food habits, sleeping habits, and also our stress management or emotional management is the reason for IBS to come into picture. And today science has also understood that our gut, the gastrointestinal system, is kind of a second brain. So there are several chemicals, neurochemicals, which are released in our brain due to several emotions, and that mimics the same kind of reaction in our stomach also. A simple example is a student who is very much tense to go to an examination. You may feel like I want to empty my bowels before I attend my exams. I am having a loose stool. How is it connected? Some people may present with a nausea, vomiting sensation, even though there is nothing to be contributed from the food aspect. It's more with the mind and psychological feeling of that stress and the associated neurochemicals released, which has mimicking effect on our gut as well. So this is one of the reasons for how it is understood IBS is presenting. When a constant stress is there, emotional disturbances are there, that will slowly start presenting with all these symptoms in our gut as well. One more important aspect which is understood, the cause of IBS today is SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. This is one of the reasons why it happens. Probably the reason for this is, apart from emotions, it's also our food habits and sleeping habits. Our gut is understood to have lot of microbes which are called commensals. Commensals are good bacteria which will help us to keep our immunity at its optimal, and also the functional aspects of our gut to be at its optimal, so that good absorption, assimilation happens and good nutrients are there to nourish us. So when these imbalances happen because of overusage of antibiotics, because of usage of wrong foods which are refined highly, and lot of sugar or carbs in our food, and improper timings of food, which will all give bad signals for our gut to digest and assimilate our foods. So in the event, what happens is it will lead to constipation, or sometimes even lack of adequate water intake, and can also lead to constipation. That will start causing imbalances in our gut bacteria. So that leads to a lot of unwanted bacteria to overgrow, which is called a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Sometimes we may need antibiotics to deal with that, and also a change in lifestyle is the most important aspect, along with medication if required. So what we try to understand in yoga is something as a tool which is comprehensive, which can deal with every aspect of our life, your body, breath and mind. So when I say one of the causes of IBS is because of stress or emotional management, we need to deal with our mind aspect, which deals with meditation, relaxation techniques and several advanced yogic techniques to manage our stress or minimize our stresses. Thereby, it will have a benefit or effect on our breathing or energy pattern, energy movement. So that is what in yoga it is understood as. When the energy imbalances are there, that is called as prana or chi in traditional Chinese medicine or acupuncture. So that leads to a lot of physical symptoms which I mentioned in IBS. So yoga would help us to manage our emotions and stress, thereby, and also the pranayamas would help us to manage our breathing, which has a direct link to our stresses and emotional management. And there, along with that, when we do several asanas, which will help us to relieve the gaseous distension, improve the functionality of our gut, thereby the assimilation and digestion improves. Thereby, you are comprehensively, holistically dealing with all the symptoms of IBS. Through the asanas at the physical level, through pranayamas at the energy level, and through relaxation and meditation techniques at the mind level and emotional management as well. So with this, you raise your awareness to that extent that you become a person who will start having foods or eating foods with mindfulness. When this is something which I have observed and also experienced. When you have a lot of mindfulness eating, whatever kind of food you are eating which is healthy, which will be much better absorbed and assimilated within your system. That's why I tell most of my health clients, or we may call them as patients, that don't watch any screen, or don't have too much of chat with your family when you are having food. Enjoy every morsel, every grain of your food. Chew well, drink sufficient water, not over drink or under drink. So that will all help our good assimilation and digestion, which doesn't lead to any kind of indigestion, which is one of the reasons for gaseous distension. That's how holistically yoga will help us to guide us ourselves in the right direction for food habits, emotional management, thereby even our IBS symptoms can come into very much within the control. So I hope this a comprehensive information about you, what IBS is, what are the symptoms it presents, how it develops, how we can manage with yoga, can be a good solution for you. But make sure that when you approach somebody, they are well experienced and qualified to guide you in the right direction holistically, not just in the yogic perspective. You can also watch our next video, which will talk about how acupuncture could also be a great tool, therapeutic tool, to address the IBS symptoms and manage it. And sometimes we have even found great results with a combination of yoga and acupuncture along with diet management to manage IBS to a long-term with a long-term solution. I hope this gives a good information for you. Please subscribe to our channel and view many such videos on health and health related topics. Thank you so much.